I came here to visit my great friend and fighter for press freedom, for you folks, you the journalists, because you are on Donald Trump's hit list next. I came here to give him courage, and I ended up receiving a lot of strength from him. Julian is in a very dark place. You have to publicize this. He's in solitary confinement. Today, for instance, he will spend 22 hours of his own in the cell. The only 2 hours of the 24-hour cycle that he's not going to spend on his own was with us. When he sees people like us today, he doesn't even get the half hour, the 30 minutes of exercise in an enclosed space. He doesn't even get that. For 6 months he's been asking for, as a prisoner, his right to exercise in the gymnasium with the other prisoners. He has been denied that. So how is he? He's a force of nature, because I can tell you that I would not be able to even open my mouth and utter a single sentence. His mind is working overtime. He's constantly thinking of the merits of the case. It really does not matter what you and I feel about Julian Assange. He's only being charged with journalism. The only reason why he's in there is because he embarrassed those who commit crimes against humanity, war crimes. People who are out there profiting, not just being free, but profiting, while the person who exposed them, who allowed the international media, the liberal media, to know what happened in Afghanistan, to know what happened in Iraq. That person is now rotting in there. We have to stop this extradition in the interests of 300 years of modernity, 300 years of trying to establish human rights and civil liberties in the West, around the world. Thank you.
This is Reporters Without Borders. Can you introduce it, please?
Christophe Deloire, Reporters Without Borders. The question is not, are you part of the family or not? Do you like Julian Assange or not? The question is that tomorrow, in this courtroom, journalism will be in danger. Because if Assange would be extradited to the US, it would be the sign that journalism is considered as espionage. And it would endanger all journalists who want to cover the lies of governments, whatever the country, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in other countries. And of course, this is a question of press freedom. What happens here goes beyond the question of an individual fate. We have also to say that Assange has been politically and legally persecuted, and that has to stop now.
Yanis, thank you for joining us today. Yesterday you were telling us that you'll go to Belmarsh Prison. Now you've come out. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Concerned. The persecution of Julian Assange is continuing. The circumstances in which he is held in there are an affront to civilization. He spends 22 hours, sometimes more, in a cell, on his own, with effective sensory deprivation, without human contact. On good days, he has 30 minutes of walking in a yard where he can see a little bit of the sky for 30 minutes on a good day. Today he's not getting this. Why? Because today he was given 2 hours with me and with his father. It is astonishing that there should be such a trade-off. If he sees his father, he cannot walk for half an hour under the sky. Today, of all days, a day before the trial begins tomorrow, the court case begins tomorrow, as he was trying to gather his thoughts, 24 hours before he appears in front of the court, they chose to search his cell, a long, arduous, offensive searching of his cell. For what? The whole purpose of that was to destabilize him a day before the court case. Now, this is not behavior that befits a liberal European country. Still, I maintain hope, and I cling on to the optimism that in the end there will be judges in this country that will assert their independence. I take heart from the fact that Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition, asked the question during Prime Minister's question time in the House of Commons, which was very good in the sense that it exposed what is happening here. And I'm even more heartened that Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, gave a good answer. An answer that did not invoke national security or any of the pretend charges against Julian, but he spoke to the heart of the matter about civil liberties. So there is hope. And I do hope that in the end, what's happening there is going to be extinguished by the triumph of justice. And finally, if I may add another comment, I feel very sad about what the system is doing to the prison wardens in there, because these are workers, they're public servants. How do they feel being part of a system that tortures a wonderful person like Julian Assange? If you think about the prison wardens of Nelson Mandela, of all the fighters for freedom and press freedom and for all of us to have the rights that we have, their lives were poisoned by being forced by their superiors to be part of a crime against people who are fighting for everyone. The prison wardens working in there do not deserve to be put into the position of torturing on behalf of a corrupt system Julian Assange.
You were mentioning the UK government, but we are from Germany. Our government has neither denied or confirmed the existence of Nils Melzer's report. You've also had your share of experience with the German government as a finance minister, former finance minister of Greece. What are your comments on the stance of our German government, which is to completely deny nor accept Nils Melzer's report on the torture of Julian Assange?
My message to the German government is, you know that you've been bugged by the NSA. You know that Angela Merkel's phone was being tapped by the United States. You know that Donald Trump and his administration and the national security apparatus is all about splitting us up, Europeans, dividing us and ruling over us. It is about time that you look at Julian Assange's case as a golden opportunity to assert European pride in our liberal democratic traditions. I'm very impressed by the change of tide in Germany. Politicians in Germany, even from the Christian Democrats, the Social Democrats, whatever our differences might be, seem to have grasped the importance of taking a stance. So I want to commend them. I want to commend German parliamentarians from all sides of the Bundestag for being part of this. The German government should take its own first step in the direction which serves the interests of European civil liberty.
To my last question, we want to leave our viewers with solutions. So you saw, as the former finance minister of Greece, you saw how European democracy is declining. This is probably another stone to that. So how do you see the vision of future for democracy in Europe? And secondly, what is DiEM25 doing to support Julian Assange?
Well, DiEM25 has been at the forefront of supporting Julian Assange. When we were inaugurated in Berlin in February 2016, he was there on a screen from the Ecuadorian embassy. So he's part of us and we're part of him. About democracy in Europe, well, this is a very large question, is it not? But let's begin with one little step towards democracy. Transparency. Let's live stream the meetings of EU councils. Let's have minutes being taken in Eurogroup meetings. It's a small step to make, but it's exceptionally radical.
Yanis Varoufakis, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks again.
Thank you.